Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 10th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Check out that storm developing, the big trough out there over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Ocean here. That's going to help build this huge ridge across the Pacific Northwest here, and we're really going to warm up and have a very nice stretch of weather, probably at least a week or so plus, with the potential for some thunderstorms. So we'll talk about that in some detail as well. I'm out here in Sydney, Nebraska, here just north of the Colorado border. You can see that trough digging through Arizona right now, and that system will be ejecting up across the plains starting today. So that's where my chasing concerns lie today. I'll probably be down there in Colorado, then maybe Kansas or Oklahoma on the following day before I finally come back on Friday or Saturday here coming up. So let's just dive into things here. You can see Seattle 64 yesterday, but we were really going to warm up. That was just a degree below average here. 65 is the average high this time of year. We're going to go above average for probably at least the next week to 10 days or so coming up here, with the potential for thunderstorms. This is looking at Portland National Weather Service talking about the heat can be kind of unusual here across Pacific Northwest, so watch out. Don't leave your kids locked in the cars. Get your AC concerns ready right now and limit your strenuous activities. Of course, you guys know the drill here. National Weather Service Seattle is really starting to highlight this heat wave here as well. Look at that 90-degree day possible on Monday. That would be the earliest 90-degree day ever at SeaTac. This is looking at National Weather Service Spokane, isolated thunderstorms possible today, and then we're going to bring that threat back again later in the period. We'll look at that here coming up. This is looking at a wider view of North America here on the European run. Last night's run, actually yesterday afternoon's run, a trough digging through California, ejecting out towards the plains. And look at that huge trough out over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, really retrogrades back across the Pacific, and just a monstrous ridge there across British Columbia and Alberta. And look at that little closed low there, that little shortwave bit of energy that kind of moves underneath the ridge back towards Pacific Northwest. That could bring a round of thunderstorms as we go on in through the weekend and on into next week. We'll take a look at that in some detail here in a moment. This is the GFS. We're going to compare those trough ejection out into the plains there, and then you can see that retrograde of the trough out over the Pacific Ocean, and you can see the ridge building, and the GFS now getting in line with the European on that shortwave energy, moving underneath the trough, or ridge, I should say, back towards Pacific Northwest. And this is looking at 850 millibars, and this is going to show just how warm we are going to get aloft. This is about 5,000 feet. So you can see that trough really digging out over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Ocean here by tomorrow morning. And then look at that warmth just really build, and watch this. You can see the offshore flow for Western Washington, Oregon, BC here, is that compressional heating is really going to warm us up here across the Pacific Northwest. We're going to be well above average temperatures. I mean, look at that heat just build on the west coast of North America by the time we get in towards next Monday morning. Pretty impressive. This is looking at it a little bit closer. Too good not to take a zoomed in look here. So let's put that into motion here. Computer's being a little bit slow here in the hotel room. But if we scroll ahead here, you'll see that really warm air lofts start to emerge here by the time we go into Friday morning. And then look at it just Saturday morning, Sunday morning shown here. And there we go on into Monday morning. Some really impressive heat coming here, folks. Very unusual for mid-May. Records are going to fall. This is looking at precipitable water here. So I wanted to show you the trajectory of this next storm here as we get this huge heat dome building up over Canada. And then we're going to bring some moisture underneath it from the east. So you can see that huge trough out there over the Pacific Ocean that's staying mainly offshore. We go on towards this weekend here, and look at what comes out of the southeast there. You can see that moisture really moving up over the area. Check that out. By the time we get in towards Monday, look at that. You can almost see the spin in the atmosphere there off the Oregon coast as it feeds that high precipitable water into the Pacific Northwest here. So that's what our thunderstorm chances are going to be. Now we're going to take a look at that in some detail. This is for today, this afternoon. You can see those thunderstorms across portions of Idaho, maybe even the Cascades. You can't rule it out. Eastern BC. Hopefully we're not going to do any fire starts here before this heat starts to set in. That's the last thing we would need during May, is to start to introduce some forest fire smoke, but it is a possibility. And let me back up again there and show those thunderstorms here. So let's go ahead and spin through here. This is Thursday morning. And we're going to scroll ahead a bit here. We got a few days to wait before that thunderstorm activity starts to roll towards us here. Now here we go into Sunday, and you can see that action start to move up across Nevada into extreme southern Idaho and Oregon here. And by the time we get in towards Monday, check it out. Look, by Monday afternoon, potentially the entire Pacific Northwest are getting involved in that thunderstorm activity there. And then maybe again on the day Tuesday. We'll see how that trends. It's still a little ways out there. These setups are very fickle here, but we will have, so we'll be closely watching this system as it goes. Now this is looking at 10-day precipitation. You can see we're not looking at too extreme amounts here, but there's going to be some great variability on where these thunderstorms set up here. But yeah, we'll just kind of watch this in the meantime of the 10 days. You can see the big precipitation totals way out over the ocean here with that huge trough that we'll be digging out and allowing the ridge to build here across the Pacific Northwest. This is looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly. So as we go on into Thursday afternoon, you can see things are going to be above average across a lot of the Pacific Northwest here, but it only gets more intense as we go through Friday afternoon. There's Saturday afternoon there, and that would be Sunday. You can clearly see British Columbia well above average. Some of these temperatures approaching 30 degrees above the average temperatures for this time of year. Actually, sorry, let me back up again there, and we'll go ahead and go on into Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. You guys get the picture. We got some warm days. Might be able to start planting your tomatoes out there, everybody. And that would be Thursday afternoon there. Yeah, the warmth does not look like it's going to be letting up anytime soon. This is the National Blend of Models, Seattle-Tacoma. You can see we've got some 80-degree days likely on our way, potentially 4 of them, maybe even 5. We'll see how that goes. But you can see all the way through mid-May, all the way to May 20th, we could potentially be up into the lower to mid-70s for a long period of time here. That is well above average. This is a Seattle-Tacoma European, and you can see potentially maybe between 3 and 5 days of 80-degree temperatures not out of the question coming up. This is Spokane. Nice warm temperatures coming up here. This goes all the way through May 19th, shown there. And this is for Portland here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you've got potentially a week of 80-degree temperatures coming up here for Portland, Oregon. This is 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This was issued yesterday. They have not updated it yet. This goes through May 23rd, and you can see the bullseye here across Washington, Oregon, and Idaho right there. And this is going to include British Columbia, of course. This is an 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook, and this could be, this could be a little bit deceiving here with that moisture coming up out of the southeast and somewhat of a monsoonal flow. We could be getting some areas that are kind of around average there. So you can see that signal above the desert southwest there as we go on into the next 14-day period. This is the hazard outlook for snowmelt, that hatched area, that shaded area across Washington, Oregon, Idaho, western Montana. And this includes up into British Columbia, as well as the Sierra Nevada down in California there. We are warming up, and we're going to have some pretty rapid snowmelt. Those rivers and streams are going to be running high and fast. Watch out on those recreational activities and, of course, those minor flooding concerns. This is the day 3 through 7 U.S. hazards outlook. And you can see western Oregon, Washington, eastern Washington, and a lot of British Columbia would be included in this as well. And this is through May 12th through May 16th. Yeah, so the heat wave is on tap here, folks, and we're going to stay warm for a while. We're going to have thunderstorm potential coming up here. Another interesting setup here, very unusual to get this warm in May, so we may hit the earliest 90-degree day ever at SeaTac, and we may continue the heat on for a while. So yeah, we'll watch this. We'll break this down day by day. I will be out chasing, like I said, again, in probably Colorado and then maybe Kansas or Oklahoma tomorrow. Looks pretty good out here today, so we're going to go get in place here. Hope you guys are liking the channel. Hope you don't mind these briefings being out on the road. I do like to watch Pacific Northwest weather no matter where I go. But anyway, yeah, click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.